Okay, one, I just have to start this with this is like full crazy pants mode. For one, I was watching something where somebody's like, okay, the way these numbers for the London LBMA, if I remember right, or but it's there's Comex vaults. This person's like the numbers that we're seeing of what's going out and who's buying it. Um, so, Dr. Steve Turley's arguments for civilization state. If you look at where precious metals are going and actual national interests that are buying precious metals and having them physically delivered, while in America you're seeing individuals, most of which would qualify as what's called the lower 50% of owners of precious metals. They own one coin. It's something that was gifted to them, or they own jewelry. Other, like an example of somebody in, say, the top 10% would have pounds of precious metals. Like, and it would not be this copper and nickel do not qualify. This would be silver, gold, and to some degree platinum. So this is then platinum. Look at the price of platinum. Like, look at gold. Gold is at 1660 something. Silver is like at $19.90 some cents. It's below 20. We're supposed to be using these materials in super mega high technology that would, now we won't have to deal with all that nasty carbon that comes from the coal. So, and then with platinum, I mean, there's no way around that one. Platinum is so valuable, people are stealing catalytic converters everywhere they can. So platinum, though, is like, I think it was at $960, $990. It was lower than $1,000. It's bouncing off of like 970 something consistently for time. Like, it's like 990 something for like a while now. 980 something per ounce. That's insane. That's totally insane. These extremely rare materials that are extremely expensive to extract being at the price they are, totally insane. That the American dollar is, yeah. But the fascinating part is that so many people, ooh, nice. The Drake, Deathglow, and Basilisk Halcyon Dawn skins will accept. Oh yes, upload them so when I buy those ships it'll be dank. This is the character that actually I have the Rodiva on. Rodiva. Let's just put it Rodiva. Like it's Russian, space Russian. Rodiva. So the Rodiva is it's a logistics cruiser. Fundamentally it's a destroyer, but it's the size of a cruiser. So you can have a shit ton of fucking drones, and it's a drone boat. But the beauty of it is because its cap output is so huge for it to, you can't fit a disintegrator, but you could fit like lasers on it, and it's just trucking along. It's just like, oh, lasers, yeah, sure, yeah, throw those fuckers on. I think you get like one or two, and it's got like 3 high slots or 4 high slots, but most of them are utilities. So it's actually, hold on a second, I gotta take a look at this. What am I in? Oh, I see. Okay, hold on. Let's see. So one of the things that's come up recently about the right that people keep getting extremely incorrect extremely incorrect, is this some kind of fascination that the left has with fascism, and accusing the right wing of being these terribly fascist people. 3 high slots. Wait, what the fuck? Yes, 3 high slots. The Rotava has 3 high slots. And so, but it's like, four mids, the fuck, 6 lows. Yeah, this thing is just, it's just retard level. And I mean, it's just impossible, and it's armor. So with a something like a reactive and a medium ACM armor repairer, you're at 11.6, yeah, like almost 11.7 in DP and in EHP. And the beauty of this is, I mean, like, it's like you nos the fucker, you nos him and nude him. Nossing him and nuding him, as long as you set yourself up, well, yeah, you get a 10 afterburner, fucking, I need to see, I think I can't get a medium cap booster in there, but maybe I don't have a medium cap booster. But I gotta take a look at that, because a medium cap booster would be aces. That would be aces. I bet I just don't. No, that's what I should take a look at that. Oh, yeah, I should take a look at that. I mean, it's stable with a small. It's stable with a small. So, oh wait, that's the point, isn't it? Hold on. Give me a second. No, it takes medium. Okay, I gotta stop. You see, EVE Online, this is what the cult does. EVE Online's a cult. It's a cult, but it's a good cult. So, like CrossFit, it's a good cult. So, the Republican Party basically got sort of purchased in a way. There's an illusion that Nixon made, where Nixon was furious at, quote-unquote, Texas oil men that opposed desegregation. Who he's talking about are the Yankee Democrats who were super racist and really rich, that wanted to try to figure out, how do we get the Republicans to go along with this thing that FDR set up, the Pentagon, because they're not really, we have to use those states that are heavily Republican for the soldiers. They're seeing the results. They're seeing that you get guys from this cluster of states, they get results in the field. The problem is that they consistently vote Republican. And Republicans don't trust this new super state that us Democrats are building, based on funding that's still left over from the FDR administration. And so I've got to look more into kind of how this time span goes, but you end up seeing that the Bush family ends up kind of purchasing, and other elements, I think, kind of purchase the Republican Party. They start running more and more people, but it's key that they purchase the RNC, so that we end up seeing that when Bernie Sanders gets betrayed by the Democratic Party, and that a tearful, like this guy became famous. This guy ended up becoming, like, I think he's still in activism or journalism. This guy was in tears, exposing how the Democratic Party, the DCC, or I think it's DCCC, it's like 3 C's, DCCC, yeah, DCCC, that's, yeah, I'm remembering right, DCCC, and that has to do with their campaigns. So they had this tiered way, and you had to keep paying up the chain to get the addresses to mail, to just to put mailers out for your candidates. They were like holding back on party information. Now, of course, to some degree, you could see, well, they were doing this with Bernie because, I mean, he wasn't in the party. But it's also, it's like, and yet he's one of the best chances the party has, so why wouldn't the party try to help him? Like, he's really popular. This is, I mean, and I mean really, totally legit. Totally legit as somebody who's opposed to him. The DCCC doing this to him was a boon. Boon for Trump. It was a boon. Handing it over to Hillary Clinton like, yeah, Mom, everyone wants to vote for you. Like, no one wants to vote for Mom. Like, uncool Mom. And yeah, oh my God. I just, and I never get, oh, wait, what's going on? Hold on, this is the character who's in faction warfare. Just gotta take a quick look, see, faction warfare. Nobody really cared, you know, and that was the horrible thing, was this inability to admit, oh, I'm in heck. No wonder there's 62 people. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Where the fuck am I? I'm like, I thought I was in Vard for a second. I'm like, there's 62 fucking people in Vard? What the fuck? See, only EVE Online players would understand, like, yeah, okay, I kind of get what you're, yeah, kind of get it. Okay, now, oh, let's see, which one do we got? Oh, we got Drake. Is this the same one, too? Yes. No, Brutix Navy issue, tight. Halcyon Dawn. The Halcyon Dawn skin. We fly. Got a Brutix Navy issue. I don't think I'm training along those lines. Let's take a look. Faction Warfare guy. This is there's gonna, my plan. I do have a plan that I'm going to at some point try to stream my gameplay, but it would be this guy. It would be this dude. So I'm trying to set it up so that it would be kind of cool. It would look kind of cool, and like you'd have cool ships that, you know, like, be kind of fun to see, you know. And so let's see, where am I training along those lines? I don't think I'm training along those lines. That's right. And I don't think I'm training along those lines. Shit. Oh shit. See, I haven't really figured out quite how to sit. Oh, there we go. Oh, wait, no. That's why. Because I forgot. I like these. The one I'm training for is the Myrmidon. I was trying to get up toward the Myrmidon. And so, Myrmidon and Brutix. It's gonna be the shit. It's gonna be the shit on motherfucking hit with the Jankies and Lucy's all over my dick. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Alright, enough with old school rap lyrics. This idea that Hillary Clinton, as Ann Coulter said about Hillary Clinton and about the woman who was running, I think, the DOJ or whatever, that their legs were on upside down. It was brutal. She just, boom, she just nailed it. And it would totally, like, it was like something that she says in private that came out. And so, thank you. And so, this idea that this was a person who was really popular, it was crazy. And then people were faking the poll numbers real bad too. This is another thing that like Democrats are not getting. you're getting taken by a lot of these polling agencies, a lot of these polling firms that are supposed to be on your side, trying to get your people elected, trying to keep you in touch with what your constituents want. They're like ganking the fuck out of you. They're totally like, they're turning out your pockets. This is fucking crazy the way that they're behaving. And there's this fundamental idea that there's this movement on the right that flourished. And this flourishing movement had something to do with Mussolini's fascism or Adolf Hitler's National Volkisch Socialism. Both of which are just a very totalitarian, authoritarian version of socialism, not dissimilar to Soviet socialism. And what the right ended up having to discuss this because the Christians were hearing these people who are obviously socialists, and they were harping on sort of this issue of the whites versus the blacks in the long run. But after a while, they started really like, okay, the data says that really black people will probably eliminate most of each other unless there's some like amazing boon for them. You know, really the amount of money that's probably going to be poured into keeping black people from eliminating one another in large numbers is what's really going to collapse sort of white civil society. This is before any of the this is like with Trayvon about to happen, pretty much. There's already discussion of, you know, if anything goes wrong in black America, it's kind of over for them. Like there's a part of my, like, I'm one of these people from the outside who steps in and I'm like, okay, from the NPR, but the person informed by NPR, let me tell you, the left is worried about this in a way that apparently you all aren't really thinking about. I don't think. No, the fact that within 2 generations a Hispanic person no longer speaks Spanish. They have no use for it. It's simply not, outside of like a level that's almost like a child. By like the 3rd to 4th, 5th generation, I mean, this is like a curiosity. You know, something they take in school for foreign language. But if they move up the class level, they're going to take French, German, or Japanese. If they move up the intelligence level, they're going to move up to German and Japanese. That's how it is. I don't know why people want to pretend other things. I don't get that. I don't get this weird. But if I pretend hard enough and then I burn down every place that has data, I'll win. You know, I don't get that. I don't get why that became a focus of the left. The right was lamenting all of this. This is the issue nobody on the left gets about them. They want things, they so long for the halcyon days of like kicking back and watching the Wonder Years and having somebody who could be like, man, this is, you know, or not man, they wouldn't say that. This is an older generation. This is a good show. It wasn't exactly like that, but I get it. It was kind of like that. And then they tell a story. You hear a story about the past to give context to Tour of Duty, China Beach, Hill Street Blues. What's happening? Rhoda. Roseanne. Put them in the comments. Just put them in the comments. You remember these stories. You remember these shows. And then somebody told you a story about how it was for them. Was it moving on up? Oh my God. Moving on up? No, not Jefferson's. I'm sorry, the other one. Keeping your head above water, making a wave when you can, temporary layoff. Good times. Good times. How am I tripping out? Good times. Oh my God. Good times. The fucking superintendent and the sassy woman getting all... And the sassy women. Sassy, these women with sass. And it's like... And people don't understand, like... These were incredibly popular shows. These were super popular. I remember they had magazines, printed magazines every week that came out that told you when shows would come on. Shows like the Golden Girls, incredibly popular. Incredibly popular. Roseanne, super normal people, politically moderate, super normal people who were just shocked at how, like, it seemed like everything was built to take people like them for fools, and that the common man is not a fool. And I really want to kind of stress this moment where it's like, this was Jewish writing, Jewish comedians communicating, we're not fools. We are the working class, and you know what? We know how to read books, and we're not fools. And I don't like how this has just been thrown out the window because a bunch of middle-class, millennial pieces of shit missed everything that was worth seeing from a past era of media, and they don't know how to put it into context. They associate the 70s with the 80s and the 80s with the 90s. They don't ask any questions. And they didn't know anybody. They don't know people who were there. But also, then there's this part of me of, how do I know this? Because I talked to a lot of people, and the context and the amount of time spent to find out these stories about culture is an investment, and it's an investment in drinking late at night. And that's how it is. So, that's why I try to pass some of this stuff on. The love now of this idea that America has. There's this great shared guilt that the white people, they must all feel this guilt. Do you know what you did to them? Those people. When you've grown up with those people, you know these were people that the socialists took their land. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. Their kids might not exactly understand. The grandkids might not exactly understand why Grandpa is like, fuck them. No, they go, fuck their ass, fuck them. They don't know what they're talking about. They're fucking stupid, and that it doesn't sound like a great argument from Grandpa and Grandma, or a grand uncle or something like that. No, fucking socialistas, fuck them, That's why listo, they would be listo except they're socialistas. Stupidos, and worse. I mean, much worse, because of course some of these people got to see what these people get up to. They were there. They were like, no, the socialists, you saw they kind of were a curiosity, then they started showing up, then things started exploding. Then things started exploding. That's the next stage of this. When they start to lose, they will start terrorizing people. They will. They won't fail to do this because that is who they are. That is truly what they are and who they are. And people like Hassan, people like Vaush, and people like the Young Turks and MSNBC types and Joy Reid and The View will try to make some kind of, oh, well, the January 6th, and the Proud Boys, and like January 6th, and the Three Percenters. Notice they don't talk about the Three Percenters because they don't know anything about them. Because there's a lot of those people who are legit as hell. And they're like, no. And so they got some people to kind of get into one or another of those chapters. But no, I mean, just because if anybody knows I think he died, if I remember correctly, somebody told me, the Kuwaiti, our 3%er Kuwaiti brother, who was into, what was it? He was into Tupac, and I think Guns N' Roses, and he had an AK at all times, loaded, hanging from the wall. He was awesome. Salman, I forget Salman, but 3%er Salman, I heard he died of like a heart attack or cancer or something suddenly, like, or stroke or something suddenly, like legit, like just, I mean, he was an older dude, I mean, he had the steam in the pipes, but he was an older guy, and living the biker life, and hard living, hard labor living, had a hard life, had a hardcore fucking life, and live fully, gentlemen, live fully. So a lot of, I think, the left got behind informationally in understanding the audience, not having rapport with the audience. That's now showing in the total felting of them in entertainment right now, that they didn't understand that the political audience was not on their side whatsoever. So they were trying desperately to think, no, Hillary was totally legit, and so to the point that after only within so many months, this idea of insisting that there was something funny going on with Russians and the election, that this started to become kind of silly and humiliating. That didn't sound good. The next part of it starts beyond that, and once it starts to become these great investigations, it starts to become this thing of like, oh, so this is how the new order will behave. Well, the beautiful part was the reaction. All of a sudden, people from the left were like, yes, the new order will be able to investigate anyone we want. They'll have to spend every last dime to defend themselves from accusations that we just make up. We can just make things up, and there's all these departments of the government who will just go along with it. There's no stopping us. And now that we're starting to see, like, that's actually what the issue is with, like, the central planner types and those who believe in the concept of human freedom, not even so much liberty. And because humans are free, they have liberties. But because they are free, there are therefore rights that a free human would have. From whom? From the rest of you motherfuckers. And every one of you motherfuckers has those rights, because you're free. And that there's people that they're just not constructed that way. Their society has never bred that for them. Their society in some way has never bred that. So there's something that always goes wrong with it. There's just not that many people. This is entirely like unique to the Germanic tongue and where it's spread. And it's spread with cows. No, really. It spread with cows westward. It didn't spread eastward into India this way. India doesn't have this idea either. While they have kith and kin and greater clans and this and that, but they tiered hierarchy, and that you always fall into this hierarchy somewhere, no matter what. No. That's the harder, more eastern end of the Germanic, Indo-European kind of set of thinking. No. In the West, where it goes to the neck of Denmark, and then it goes to the Netherlands, where the Netherlands is key to this idea, where the Netherlanders are the ones who end up making New York and all this place where just obey the law and you're free. Pay your taxes. Please don't disobey the law. So there's just a bunch of people who read this all wrong about Americans. They don't want to think this. They like central planning. They're built to fear the outsider in a way that really a lot of Americans just don't think that way. And they can't, they want to believe they do. They desperately want to believe. No, you have fear inside of you when you see me with my tan. You see me holding hands with a dude and you're like, oh, fear feelings. And it's like, no, they don't have fear of you. No. What's wrong with you? And now really, it's clear, they don't have a rapport with the audience. They can't even create things that people want. In the fact of some people on YouTube, people who are donators to them need to ask them, were you handed money by the government to help with people taking the vaccine? Because billions of dollars were put into that. That's one of the things that I mentioned about Hassan and the Young Turks before I got banned from Twitter. Just saying. Yeah, so just some more thoughts about the deep right, the origins of the new right, and just some stuff that's been rolling around in my mind over the last few days.